All right, welcome in Aries and Aries placements. We are going to see what Spirit wants you to know and what your message is for May of 2026. This reading is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. And we're, like I said, going to see what is up for you for the month of May. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to get 3 of these oracle cards here to get the general vibe for the month. And then we'll turn to tarot and we will get an overall energy, a challenge area, and the focus area for the month. Okay. And then we'll clarify. Okay. So let's cut the deck here. Okay. And let's see what Spirit wants you to know. 3 cards, please, Spirit, for the overall energy for Aries. Okay, so first card out, we have water signs. So we have Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. You might have any of these signs somewhere else in your chart, or you might be dealing with someone who has water significantly in their chart. Okay, usually it's the Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, but it really can be anywhere, but those are usually the major placements. Okay. All right. Anything else, Spirit? Okay. We also have options. So doing them, juggling connections, addictions, and player. Okay. And one more card, please, for Aries for the month of May, please, Spirit. And if you would like to fast forward through the shuffling, feel free. Sometimes it takes a moment. Okay. And then we have deadline. So time running out, on edge, intervention, can't wait, no longer. Okay. That card got a little bent there. All right. So while I am shuffling the tarot cards, we'll kind of discuss those cards a little bit here. So like I said, you could be, dealing with someone with water in their chart or a water sign. You could have water significantly in your chart as well. So take that as it resonates. But it looks like, maybe you were dealing with someone who is making you feel like an option. Okay. It could have been someone that is in some type of devil energy. Maybe they were also in Knight of Wands or King of Wands energy, where they were kind of, hot and cold, non-committal, acting like a player. Okay. Maybe pitting you against other people. So, trying to get a reaction out of you. Okay. Maybe putting you in competition, whether there was competition or not. They could have been making it up, is what I'm hearing, at least for some of you. But it looks like this person, I feel almost like this person, they're supposed to be coming toward you, I feel, maybe with the truth. If this person ghosted you for some reason, they're supposed to return with answers, possibly. There's something in this person's soul contract here that their ancestors, their guides, and their angels are hounding them to come back your way for some reason. Okay. They have something that they need. It's almost like unfinished business. All right. And it's something I feel like this person needs to do, and they're under a certain deadline. Okay. I know that we all know that, obviously divine timing and all that good stuff. And in the spiritual realm, there really is no such thing as time. Everything is kind of linear, but here in the 3D, people, we have deadlines here and there. If something is meant to happen, it has to happen in a timely manner. Okay. So like if someone's supposed to take action, it needs to happen in a timely manner at most of the time. And I feel like this person is kind of dragging their feet possibly. Okay. Or they have been. So take that all as it resonates, but that's just the energy I'm feeling. And that's what I'm kind of getting as far as downloads from Spirit. But let's see what comes out in tarot. Okay. All right. So, and of course, take what resonates, leave the rest. But Spirit, please, one card for Aries and Aries placements for May of 2026 as the overall energy, please. can you tell us for Aries and Aries placements? One card. Okay. Whoops. All right. Well, we have two. Okay. So the two cards that came out are the Nine of Swords and the Devil. Okay. So obviously toxicity is definitely at play here. Let's see here. Anxiety as well. And then one card, please, for the challenge for May for Aries. Okay. We have the High Priestess. And one card, please, for the focus for Aries. Okay, we have the Lovers. All right, on the bottom of the deck, we have Strength. I look at the three cards underneath here originally. So we've got Strength, we have the Ten of Wands, and the Hanged Man under the deck here. Okay. All right, so before we start clarifying, I, again, feel that the overall energy here for the month of May is stress and anxiety, a lot of sleepless nights, and it's because of a certain toxic behavior, toxic patterning. You know, this card over here with the options talks about addiction, so there could be addictions at play here. But even that player like mentality, that player attitude, that's also part of devil energy. Okay. Because, you know, it's basically a form of manipulation, playing mind games with people, you know, making people feel like options, triangulating people, all sorts of things. Okay. So, like I said, you know, take whatever resonates for your situation. But I feel that there was definite, toxic behavior or some kind of toxicity at play here with whoever this person is. Okay. So the challenge, we have the High Priestess. So I feel like there could be distance and silence between you and this person. There could also be secrets involved as well. And I feel like there's something to be said about maybe not following one's intuition. Okay. So whether that's on your side or this person's side, could be on both sides. You know, I know it's sometimes difficult to follow what our intuitive nudges are when we feel that we know better, or we think that that we know who this person is, or, you know, what we're talking about. And we almost want to convince ourselves because it's our mind, but, our intuition, our gut tells us otherwise. So, especially if someone's not used to following intuitive nudges as well. Okay. Maybe someone is, more logical and rational. They don't follow their intuition as often. So like I said, it could be you, it could be this other person, but, obviously take it as it resonates. Okay. And we have the Lovers as the focus here. Okay. So I feel like this is a connection where, you most likely had a deep love for this person. Okay. And it could very well be that it's reciprocal, even if this person never verbalized it. But the Lovers at heart is about a choice. Okay. And it can be about a choice in love. So it's, an emotional decision, something to consider. I'm trying to think of the words I want to say. It's something to consider as far as, where our emotions are and what we feel is best for us and our heart. Okay. So, and then we have under the deck here, as we have Strength, we have the Ten of Wands and the Hanged Man. So I feel like, you have definitely been holding back from this person. And it's possible that they've been holding back from you as well. I feel that this person, in holding back maybe truths from you, and holding back because they've been, maybe juggling more than one connection here, or maybe, even if it isn't another person, it could just be, toxic behavior. It could, or patterning. It could be, and like I said, addictions. So, an external party could always be an addiction as well. It doesn't have to be a physical person. It could actually be, anything that's not an actual person, something that they value or put ahead of you, prioritizing that instead of you. So I feel like, this person, they have things that they have been holding back from you as far as truths. And I feel like this has caused a lot of burden for them, and it has caused stagnancy and lack of forward, progress in this connection. And on the other hand, I do feel like, you are possibly, holding back from maybe connecting with or reconnecting with this person, or maybe reaching out, even though maybe you want to. So I feel like there could be separation here, especially with the high priestess here as a challenge. And I feel like, you've been burdened with this as well. Okay. So I feel like there's burden on both sides. I feel that, with this lack of forward movement and, obviously there's no progress here in this connection. I feel like the main goal here with that stagnant period, or the period that you feel has been stagnant, it's hopefully provided you with gaining a new perspective on this connection, where you were able to maybe follow your intuition and maybe move away from this. Okay, maybe you saw the toxicity, maybe with being in that hangman energy. I feel like you possibly were able to take off the rose-colored glasses if you feel like you were wearing them at one time. Okay, because I feel like this person could have really done a number on you, and they might have really portrayed themselves as something that they weren't, and tried to fool you as long as they could here. Okay, but obviously take it as it resonates. Okay, so let's start clarifying here. Spirit, what can you tell us? 3 cards to clarify the Nine of Swords and the Devil, please. Please clarify the Nine of Swords and the Devil with 3 cards. Ooh, okay. Okay. All right. The first card we have is the Magician in reverse. We have the Tower. All right, and the Hierophant in reverse. All right, and then on the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Wands. All right, so what I'm seeing here as far as the overall energy, like I said, we've got the Nine of Swords and the Devil here, and that really talks about a lot of toxicity that is causing anxiety. And, I'm not talking about just anxiety at certain times. I'm talking about, it's almost like continual anxiety. Okay. And it's affecting, sleep habits and things like that, where maybe there are nightmares involved as well. Okay. So this person could be having nightmares. With the Magician in reverse here, clarifying the Nine of Swords and the Devil, I feel like, this is about manipulation. It's about playing mind games, being very tricky. Okay, so it's trickery. It's, causing illusions and deceptions. All right. So I feel, sometimes the Magician in reverse can indicate some type of black magic, but obviously take that as it resonates. I'm not going to go there with that. I'm just saying that it could be, it's one of those things that, comes out, but usually the Seven of Swords comes out with it as well. But, with the Magician in reverse, I mean, this person they knew what they were doing. Okay. And they played with you. They obviously played with other people as well. Okay. Especially if there were other connections involved. And this person was, deceiving you. This whole thing was about, trickery, deception, causing illusions here. Okay. They were trying to, have their cake and eat it too, and have basically whatever they wanted. And so I do feel like you put up strong boundaries with this person with the Nine of Wands here. I do feel like you have, moved away from this person, and you put up boundaries, and you chose yourself. And this person is upset about that. Okay. I feel like maybe this person never expected you to do that. And this really caused a tower for them. Okay. So it caused a tower moment. And it could have caused you a tower moment when you finally realized, whenever the moment was, that this person was deceiving you. Okay. Because when we love people or have feelings for people, you never want to think that people will do that to you, but it's an unfortunate thing. And then, we've got the Hierophant in reverse. So obviously this person is not interested in any kind of commitment with anybody. I feel like maybe they're afraid of commitment. I feel like this person really is just committed to themselves and they're very selfish. And I do feel like this person, I do actually feel with the Hierophant in reverse that this person has no interest in, growing or elevating. Okay. I feel like there was a lesson to be learned here. And that's why, this tower moment came in. And unfortunately, this person, I feel like you're learning your lessons involved in this situation, but this person has not learned theirs. Okay. And that might be also what is partly to do with this deadline here, that this person has a certain deadline that they need to start changing themselves, changing their life, changing their behaviors. And I feel like, time could be running out for them. Okay. But we'll have to see. All right. So let's clarify the High Priestess for you. All right, Spirit. 3 cards, please, to clarify the High Priestess for us. 3 cards. Okay. Okay, we have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse, the Ace of Wands, and the Queen of Cups. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Wands. All right. Under that is the 5 of Cups. It kind of slid, so it feel like it wanted me to see that. Okay, so like we were saying earlier, with the High Priestess here in the challenge, I feel like there's definitely distance or space between the two of you, but there's also an air of like secrets. Okay, this person is obviously not telling you everything. They were not honest with you. Okay, and there was potentially a lack of following intuition here, at least on someone's part. Okay, we do have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. So the 8 of Pentacles in reverse is basically giving up. Okay. Not wanting to work on things, not wanting to change, not wanting to grow and make things better. Okay. So we have that. And it could be like an avoidant type energy as well. Okay. Someone who's like avoiding the truth, someone who's avoiding looking at the truth, someone who is avoiding, like I said, beneficial change, because sometimes people see change as being too difficult. Okay. We do have the Ace of Wands here. I feel like this person, there could have been extreme passion between you and this person at one point. And, I'm not denying that. Okay. But unfortunately, I feel like this person, now they could have water in, sorry, I'm looking at water signs. They could have, fire in their chart here, okay, significantly. So they could be a Leo, Sagittarius, or another Aries, okay? And so there's, definitely passion between the two of you, but I feel like this person, they let the passion take over. And this person, they don't want to change things. They just want to, kind of start another cycle. It's almost like makeup sex, just over and over again. Like, let's fight, and then let's have this extreme passion over and over again. I feel like that's this person's mentality. That let's sweep things under the rug, and yeah, sure, we'll things will be better, and it's all about bedroom time. Okay. So I feel like this person, they don't want to change. They just want the passion. Okay. They don't want the commitment. They just want the passion. Okay. And we do have, the Queen of Cups here. So I feel like, there could be someone else involved here as the Queen of Cups. Unfortunately, this could be a third party. Okay. I also feel it is possible that there's someone else in this person's life though that is influencing this. Okay. An external party of some sort. Could be a water sign. Okay. That could be why this water sign um, card came out as well. All right. But yeah, I do feel like, and male or female doesn't matter the gender here, but if you, I'm actually kind of feeling twofold with this Queen of Cups now that I'm holding the card and I'm feeling the energy. I do feel that there most likely was at least one external party, whether it was romantic or not, in this person's life that was influencing them and influencing their decisions, their behavior, things like that. But I do feel also with the Queen of Cups, I feel like this is almost your energy. And I feel like, this person was looking for passion. Okay. And I'm not saying that they didn't want to have love in their life, but it was mostly the priority was passion here. I feel like the priority, not only, I mean, you wanted passion, but you also wanted love. Okay. So I feel like the Queen of Cups is your energy as well. Like I said, male or female doesn't matter. And so I feel like, you were following your intuition with this. And this person, I feel like with the high priestess being the challenge, it's possible that maybe your intuition got a little cloudy at one point. So maybe you kind of stayed in this a little longer than you feel like you should have, or than you wanted to, just because you feel like you were roped in by this person, because that can happen sometimes. But I feel like you are a very intuitive person. And once that intuition kicked in and took over, you're like, I'm done, I'm gone. And so, yeah, you wanted not just passion, you wanted love too. Okay. But I do still feel that there might be, like I said, an external party here of some sort. And with the Knight of Wands on the bottom, I mean, this person, that's a player right there. Okay. It's a player attitude. It is someone who likes to have multiple options. They don't like to be emotionally vulnerable. This person is non-committal. They're inconsistent, hot and cold, in and out. They come for a short time, not for a long time. It's all about fun and passion for them. Okay. So that makes complete sense that that's on the bottom there. Okay. Okay. So let's clarify the lovers here. 3 cards, please, for the lovers to clarify for the focus, Spirit. And you're welcome to fast forward through the shuffling if you like. Sometimes it takes Spirit a minute to get the cards out. Okay. All right. So we've got the 9 of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, and Judgment. Okay. And on the bottom of the deck, we have Temperance for the focus. Okay. All right. So as the focus, we do have the lovers. And like I said earlier, I'm sure that you and this person, you do have a lot of love for this person. And I'm sure that they have a sense of love for you too. Okay. No matter what love means to that person. But the lovers is about a choice here. Okay. So Spirit is really wanting you to analyze what is your wish fulfillment. Okay. What makes your heart happiest? I think I mentioned that earlier when I was talking about the lovers. So, I feel like Spirit wants you to kind of go within, if you haven't already, and try to focus on what makes you happiest. What is your wish fulfillment here? Okay. I feel like with the wheel here, this person, they might return. Okay. With the wheel, I do feel that, this was a destined connection because of lessons and because of, just certain experiences that you and, that your soul chose to learn here in this lifetime. Okay. But, the wheel is also about changes. All right. So, when you analyze what makes you happiest and what is actually your wish fulfillment, um, that is going to allow you to make the changes necessary for your life. Okay. So if you haven't already moved away from this person, which I feel like the majority of you have, but if you haven't and you're still considering it, Spirit really does want you to think about whatever is your wish fulfillment. Is this person your wish fulfillment when they treat you like this? Okay. It's possible this person somehow took your power from you, and Aries is full of, you're a powerful sign. So, I feel like, you're ready to take your power back if you haven't already. Okay. And I can hear some of you even saying, there is no way, I do not let anybody take my power. So, you know, that's fine too. It's possible that, maybe you didn't even, allow this person to do that. Okay. But we do have judgment as well. So it's going to be your judgment call here, which way you go. Okay. And with judgment and the Wheel of Fortune present in the focus, I do think that this person is going to be coming back. They are under a deadline though. Okay. And so it could be too little too late. So I'm not sure if there has been a separation here, or what this deadline could be as far as spiritually. I know that in a lot of cases, especially if you've been in separation with someone for quite a while, and they just take their time and drag their feet coming back, once they do reach back out to you, it's like, it's been how long, and why are you contacting me now? So people just don't understand that. It kind of shows that you really don't care. So I feel with judgment, this person might be looking for another chance with you here. Okay. Or at least forgiveness from you. So be expecting that this person could be reaching back out to you. But with judgment as well, I do feel that it's going to be your judgment call. Number one, if you feel like even talking with this person, if you do feel like remaining in this connection with this person, okay, whatever you resonate with, because I'm hearing different stories depending on where you are in this timeline. Okay. But yeah, it's going to definitely be your judgment call here, what you want to do in this situation. Okay. Because ultimately on the bottom, we've got temperance. And, I feel like the main focus here for you is to try to seek out what is going to be what brings you balance in your life. Okay. Because I feel like this person in this energy, they have kind of disrupted whatever peace you had in your life. And I feel like they brought a lot of chaos and conflict. And I feel like you are just really wanting your peace back. Okay. So try to figure out what is going to bring you that balance. If feel like you want to be back with this person, everybody's got free will, but Spirit really does want you to kind of decide what makes you happiest. What is your wish fulfillment here in life? Okay. Because there could be some doors opening once you shut the door on this person for good. Okay. All right. Well, that looks like what we're getting here for you, Aries, and Aries placements for May of 2026. I hope that this reading brought you some information, insight, and clarity. If you do feel like it resonated, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. And until next time, take care and namaste.